couple more questions that I don't know if you guys will dodge or or give us some dirt on.
I'm going to
nothing crazy, nothing
completely.
It's like trying to get spoken of Marvel actors,
Yeah, right. Anything you guys could talk about when Tony was away from the business?
There's really only one story in the book that covers when he's not in wrestling. Well, no, there's two. I'm sorry. The one where he meets Lois.
Yeah.
And then the one where he's away from wrestling and then brought back in.
He did sports announcing too for a while, right? Besides wrestling, like oh, cool, yeah. So is that what more like what they would those chapters would be? I guess. Okay.
It covers that
Very
in
cool.
yeah. Josh Ross drew that chapter. It covers in a lot of detail. His 18 years away when he left WCW, he was burned out. He's like, I'm out. And he did like real briefly go to TNA for a night, and Impact Wrestling, and things like that. But yeah, then it starts to veer into when Conrad Thompson, who wrote the foreword to the book, says, hey, why don't you come on this podcast and just tell us about your story? And here we are.
That's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, definitely. Sounds great. And then the other question we have here is, have any of the stories made you look at your favorite wrestlers differently, or any story out of character for a certain wrestler? Oh, I imagine there's a lot of that, right?
What can you share, Drina?
I mean, I look at him differently, but not in a bad way. Ric Flair.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Well, Adam, there you go. Might be able to get that. Got to get that book now. Find out what that Ric Flair story is.
Yeah, look at you. Yeah. When I approached Watson, I got to work with Mike Watson on a short story for actually the Tales of Mystery Volume 4 campaign. And I've been on the road with Watson. We've stayed in hotel rooms together, multiple times, things like that. And I've always wanted to work with him more. And when I approached him about doing one of the bonus stories for the book, he has such an expressive style. And I told him, I said, I want you to draw the Ric Flair story. And he's like, oh, Ric Flair's my dude. I said, okay, awesome. Here's something you need to know about this story. What's going to happen?
Oh man, this is such a tease.
Edge of my seat.
Again, I handed off to Drina. I said, okay, you guys work out. How are you gonna? I mean, obviously when I write it in a way to be cool about it. But and we had some discussions even within the script of how to frame certain scenes to make sure that this can be a book that's on bookstore shelves and everybody. Yeah. But I had to let Watson and Drina work out the fine details of how you gonna.
That's cool. That's a good tease. I think if Ric Flair fans out there may want to check that out just for that, that's great.
He's in the book several times. In fact, he was Tony Schiavone. He was at Tony Schiavone's one of his first wrestling matches.
Oh,
he was Tony Schiavone's first. He was at his first ever professional interview. And again, years later, he started riding with the Horsemen, a couple times. And I don't want to I'm not going to give away the story. It's too funny, the spoilers. But a time that Tony went out drinking with the Four Horsemen. It's wild, man. People are going to.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. I can't wait for everyone to have it. And if any of the artists are watching right now, I'm so grateful at how well they took notes and direction and stuff like that. And there was no real problems, and you always run into problems, and we just didn't have any. So I'm super appreciative of that.
Harry asked, he shook Ric Flair's hand once. Should he be concerned?
That's great.
I saw that how you like Adam more like a Space Mountain Stories. That's right. The oldest ride, the longest line. Woo! No comment. You gotta read the book.
Gotta read the book.
The worst moments in sports history.
The only old-time baseball player I met was Johnny Pesky, Fenway Park, the Pesky's pole, whatever. Like before that, I was telling her, if I could meet anyone, because Ted Williams just passed away, I'm like, I would love to meet, Johnny Pesky, because he was his wingman in World War II. They left baseball for a short time to go fight in the war, and then I see this guy walk by. I was kind of looking at the menu, and I see this leather jacket walk by me with the old Red Sox logo, two separate socks. Now they weren't together. And I'm like, oh, what a cool jacket. And I looked up to go ask him where he got it from. And it was Johnny Pesky walking by me. I'm like, holy shit, Johnny Pesky.
He's like, I got this at work.
the guy at the time was probably in his 90s, and I'm like, I'm like, should I go say hi to him? I was like, please don't embarrass me. Like my girlfriend's like, don't. And I'm like, oh, I got to. It was like the one, I told you that one time I would love to meet him, So I ran up to him like, Johnny Pesky. And I yelled it so loud, he was off balance, and I'm like, oh my god! He's like walking with a cane, and I put my hand behind his back. I'm like, oh my god! Yes. I didn't mean to scare
Amateur
you.
hour with the
fandom. I just wanted to say hi to you. Big fan of yours, whatever. But then he died a few, not too long after that. And I went to his
killed
wedding.
him.
I went to you know how many times I've heard that story with other celebrities I've met. I can give you a long string of but when I went to the wake, a week after, and his son was like, "Oh, thank you for coming." I'm like, I'm sure he'll be happy that I just almost killed him a week ago. And then I went outside and they're interviewing me. She was with me, and so this guy shoved a microphone in my face. Like, so what did Johnny Pesky mean to you? I'm like, oh, I just kind of met. I always been a big fan, and I actually met him like a week ago, and he was so a great guy, back when he was more alive. I couldn't think of what to say, and I said that line. like, Harry, why would you say that? I don't know. I wasn't thinking.
This has been the worst moment in sports history.